Hello NFL fans and welcome back to the Wall of NFL YouTube channel. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 NFL players and which ones I think are just head and shoulders above the rest. Offensive linemen don't get talked about very much in the NFL, but we can all agree at this point that if you have a good offensive line, your team is going to do pretty well and possibly make the playoffs just purely because of dominating the line of scrimmage. Quinton Nelson is definitely the best offensive lineman in the league, and let alone at his position of guard as well. Whilst guards aren't as important as tackles are, Quinton Nelson has shown really how valuable he is by only letting up 3 sacks in his last 3 seasons and only 15 pressures during the whole of 2020 as well, including the playoffs. He's also fantastic at run blocking, so his position on this list is definitely well deserved, and the Colts are very happy to have him on their team. As defensive ends go, TJ Watt has shown to me and a lot of other people that he is currently the best in the league. He has been on the verge of winning 2 to 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards in these last 2 or 3 seasons, and he's got 62 appearances and 49.5 sacks, which is a really good record. He's shown to me that he's really good at batting down passes as well, and he definitely is the linchpin of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think the Steelers are really going to need him if they're going to be able to challenge this year for the AFC North crown. Travis Kelce is definitely the best tight end in the league, and also a future Hall of Famer at that. He's a fantastic player who has really shown how valuable he is to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the whole Chiefs organization. He's really helped them getting to the last 2 Super Bowls, and I think that over the next couple of seasons as well, he's really going to be instrumental to their success. I think that he's been the best safety blanket any developing quarterback could have hoped for, and he's really been key to the success of Patrick Mahomes as well. I think he'll be really important as they go and try and battle for another Super Bowl this year, and I think he may be for 3 or 4 years to come as well, as he still is only 31. At number 7, I have Derrick Henry, who is incredibly fast, incredibly strong, and incredibly mean at that as well. If you've seen some of his highlights over the last 2 seasons or so, he's been dishing out stiff arms, and Josh Norman knows all about that. He ran for over 2,000 yards in 2020 and was just really instrumental and really brilliant for the Titans, helping them get to the playoffs from the stretch between Thanksgiving to the end of the regular season. And that was really when he turned up a gear and really pushed him to get to that 2,000-yard landmark. He's one of only a few running backs to ever do it, so really hats off to him for being so great last season. He's very hard to tackle due to his incredibly big frame as well. I think he's 6'3" and 240 pounds as well, so he's really difficult to tackle. And I think he's one of the only running backs that if he did have a bad offensive line, it wouldn't make any difference because he's that hard to tackle. Over the last 2 seasons, he's had more yards after contact than any other running back, and the Titans have their offense pretty much all based around Derrick Henry. So for a running back to have all of the offense based around them, he really is that good. Running backs haven't really been valued that much over the last few seasons, but Derrick Henry is really putting an argument to that. Jalen Ramsey is number 6 on my list, as he's the best cover corner in the league. Every single game he matches up against the Rams' opponent's best receiver, and whether that's Mike Evans from the Bucs or Devontae Adams from the Packers, he matches up every single week against them, and he really actually proves why the Rams traded those 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick to get him from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last season in 2020, he only gave up around 30 yards a game, and in 8 of those games, less than 10 yards. I think he only allowed 32 catches as well, so he's really shown how excellent he is. Not only that, but with his presence on the field, he really allows the rest of the defense to try and box out and protect from all of the other receivers on the field. You put him on an island and he just defends fantastically well, which is why I have him at number 6 on this list. Josh Allen made the biggest leap of any NFL player last season and was absolutely fantastic. He really showed that in just one season why he should be on the top 5 of my list. He was the 5th most accurate quarterback in 2020 last year, and I think if he's able to keep up the trajectory that he's on, there's no reason why he couldn't be in the MVP conversation next season. I also think he might throw for over 5,000 yards in 2021 with that extra regular season game. So I really do think that Josh Allen is going to keep up his tremendous growth over the last 3 to 4 seasons as well. Last season, Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl, and that's more than any other player has ever won. Not only that, but he did it in his first season with the Buccaneers, who in the previous season went 7-9 without him. I think that really shows his value to a team, as maybe he wasn't as appreciated as much as he should have it been in New England. He was really, really great, and I think it really showed how good he was from Thanksgiving onwards when they didn't lose a single game, and he was just superb in the playoffs. He hasn't got the best running ability, and his arm isn't spectacular compared to the likes of Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen. There's a whole bunch of players who actually have better arms than him, but he's so smart and he lives and breathes football. So I really think that's why he's got to be number 4 on this list. Aaron Rodgers last season was the league MVP, and it goes to show what he can do with the right kind of motivation. The Packers were favourites to get to the Super Bowl, if not for Brady and the Buccaneers last season, and that's all due to Rodgers and how good he was last year. He had 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and despite the fact that he was tailing off in his career over the last few seasons, last year it really showed with the drafting of Jordan Love. It really showed how good he was because he was really determined to really have his best season ever. So I think Aaron Rodgers now potentially showing what he's got to the rest of the league who might draft him next year, I think he's going to have another great year. And despite the fact that he and the Packers might have 1 year left and he might be looking onto pastures new, I think he's going to have a great season. And the Packers have a really good chance as well to get to the Super Bowl one more time this year. Aaron Donald definitely has an argument to be number 1 on this list. And in 3 out of the last 4 seasons, he's led the entire league in quarterback pressures, which is really hard to do from his position of interior defensive line. If he was on the outside, he could get a lot more pressures, just like TJ Watt does, but he's even ahead of TJ Watt despite the fact that TJ Watt is in an easier position to get those pressures. In 3 seasons, 2017, 18 and 2020, he's won the Defensive Player of the Year award, which is mind-boggling that he's done it 3 times, and he is so consistent with his ability to run over defenders. He is so strong and powerful and very formidable, and even on one of his off days, no one wants to face him. He's incredibly valuable and to the Rams, and he's really a key piece to their Super Bowl run each season. I think he has a few more years ahead of him as well, as he's only 30 years old, so I think there are many more records that he can break, and he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame in the next few years, maybe in a 10 years time or so. At number 1 on this list, it definitely has to be Patrick Mahomes. He's absolutely fantastic, and his last 3 seasons playing for the Chiefs, he won the league MVP in his first, he won the Super Bowl in his second, and got to the Super Bowl in his third as well. So there is no doubt why he is number 1 on this list. He can make any kind of throw you could ever ask him to make, and he has the legs to evade all kinds of pressure at that as well, despite how much pressure he was under with the Chiefs' offensive line in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl last season. I think he's only 25 as well, so he has 10 to 15 years left in the tank as well to break a whole bunch of records. And as long as the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes on their team, you can never count them out of winning the Super Bowl as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please do leave in the comments down below your top 10 players that you think are the best players in the NFL. And please also check out wallofnfl.com and all the social media pages in the links in the description as well. Please comment as well if you want me to talk about any other topics or make any other lists. And we've got preseason coming up in this week. We got the Cowboys and the Steelers starting the Hall of Fame game, which I'm really excited for. Not because it's the Hall of Fame preseason game, but because it means the NFL season is right around the corner. So stay tuned for a whole bunch more content, and I hope you have an excellent day at that as well.